Take this weird tuna mayonnaise soup type look to it. And I mean, I ended up having to like eat it out of a cereal bowl with a spoon. I mean, that's just, it was, needless to say, I wasn't really satisfied with my tuna, partially because it was nasty. But more so, because it was a cheap imitation of what I'd always known. It was a cheap imitation of the thing I'd grown to love and the thing that I knew I could depend on. When we put things in our lives, things that aren't God, things that we think are what we need in our life, it's a cheap imitation that's going to let us down and never fulfill us. Let's look and see what happens next in the story. In verse 5, we pick up and it says, when Aaron saw this, he built an altar in front of the calf and he announced, tomorrow there will be a festival to the Lord. So the next day the people rose early and sacrificed burnt offerings and presented fellowship offerings. Afterward they sat down to eat and drink and got up to indulge in revelry. So what we see here is this big celebration. They throw this big party in honor of this new God that they have, this new little golden calf that they can worship. And they're having a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't like a good party? There's food, there's drinks, there's dancing, there's music. It sounds like a blast, right? Point number 2. Idolatry will feel like a party at first. It'll feel like a party at first. When you first replace God with something else, it's going to feel a little exciting. It's going to have that new feeling. It's going to have that, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next kind of vibe to it. But then real soon, you're going to come to find out that it just doesn't do it for you. And then you're going to move on to something else and you're going to try that out and it's going to do it for you for a little while, but then you're going to move away from that because it's not doing it for you anymore either. And you'll go through this phase of keep on trying new things, keep doing new things that you think are going to do it for you, but it just keeps falling short. I'm a big video game fanatic. I love playing video games. I have an Xbox and a PlayStation 3, and I play them all the time. I probably am a little addicted. But I'm a big fan of the game. I'm sure most of you in this room, if not all of you, have played the game Modern Warfare 2, right? Just a video game. But when I first got that game, I would come home from work or from wherever I was, and I would just sit down and I would play that game for hours on end. It was kind of ridiculous. Jeff and I talk on the phone like 17 times a day, and he called me at 4 o'clock. What are you doing? Playing video games. 5 o'clock. What are you doing? Playing video games. What are you doing? Eating a sandwich and playing video games. It was just constant. I was playing it all the time. And then one day I came home from work and I thought, oof, tired. Maybe I'll play a few video games. And I power it up and I'm sitting there and I'm going through and it's just like, man, it's not very fun today. I don't know what the deal is. And I couldn't really explain it. I can't explain it now. It just wasn't exciting as it was before. And I started playing the game less and less. And then one day I got home and I sat down and I thought, maybe I'll play some video games. And I was just like, no, I don't want to play it anymore. It's not fun anymore. It lost its appeal. It lost the fulfilling nature it had to it. And see, the same thing happens when you have an idol in your life, something you're worshiping that's not God. It's going to feel fun for a while. It's going to feel like it's doing something for you. But when you stop and you take a step back, you're going to see it's nothing but a bunch of meaningless junk. It's nothing that's going to last long term. And that's exactly what happened with the Israelites. See, Moses, this whole time this is happening, he's still up on the mountain with God. And him and God, they've been spending a lot of time together. They got these commandment things going on. And Moses, he's sitting there talking with God, and God's like, whoa, 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 Moses, you and I got to talk. My people down there, dude, they blew it. They got this calf thing going on that they're worshiping, and I've got to destroy it. I'm sorry. I know you and I have been having this good thing going, but I've got to get rid of it. And Moses, he's like, whoa, God, hold on. Chill out. Let me go talk to them. They'll listen to me. It'll all be good. So God says, okay, you go down and talk to them, and you see what you can do. And Moses, he's going down this mountain, and when he gets down, he sees what's going on. They're having this huge party for this idol, this calf, this piece of garbage. And he gets ticked. And not just that, like, oh, I'm mad, but I'll get over it type thing. Like, he breaks those 10 commandments. He just tosses them down, and they shatter. And he's like, what are you doing? Have you completely forgotten what we just went through? We just got out of Egypt, and you're going back to the same things. And so he walks over to the guy he left in charge, his brother Aaron, and he says, Aaron, what happened? What is going on? And Aaron immediately starts making excuses. Immediately, he says in verse 24, I said to them, whoever has any gold, just let them tear it off so that they gave it to me. And I threw it into the fire, and out came this golden calf. I had nothing to do with it. It just happened. See, Aaron realized all of a sudden he wasn't doing it anymore. He was looking at a bunch of garbage, a bunch of expensive golden garbage. It wasn't a God. It didn't free them from Egypt. It didn't provide for them while they were in the desert. It didn't send those plagues to get them out of Egypt. It was just a statue. And it took Aaron a little bit of time and a little bit of heartache to realize what was going on. And when he stopped and looked at it, he realized, whoa, what am I worshiping? That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. That's not why I'm here. What are you making excuses for? What is it that you can't see as junky? What is it you are having so hard of a time letting go? After Moses talks to Aaron, he says, enough is enough. This has got to stop. And he draws a line in the sand, and he says, hey, if you're with God, you need to come with me. And a bunch of people come with him. They're like, yeah, you got this right, Moses. We messed up big time. We're with you. We're with God. But then about 3,000 people, they said, we're doing fine without you. We got this thing. We don't really have many rules. We kind of get to have fun when we want to. You guys go ahead. We're going to stay here. So Moses takes this big group of people that came with him, and he says, guys, I hate to tell you this, but we have to kill all those people who stayed behind. We've got to destroy them. And these were their brothers, their sisters, their best friends, their parents, their children. And Moses said, we have got to stop this. Point number 3. Idolatry has to be killed, not contained. See, idolatry is like a fast-growing disease. If you don't stop it, it's going to breed other diseases. It's going to make you sicker and sicker, and it's going to destroy you not physically, but spiritually. It'll kill you spiritually. Because when you have an idol in your life, it's not going to fulfill you. It's not going to give you what you need. It's not going to do it for you long term. So they go through and they wipe these idolaters out. They stop it. we have these things